Hey, good day everyone. So our topic for today is about Marpol, marine pollution. Okay, Marpol 7378. So International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships. So 1973 and modified by the Protocol of 1978. Kaya tinawag siyang 7378. Okay, Marpol 7378 is one of the most important international marine environmental conventions, and it was designed to minimize pollution of the seas, including dumping, oil, and exhaust pollution, and other forms of pollution. Let's see. Okay, so its stated object is to preserve the marine environment through the complete elimination of pollution by oil and other harmful substances and the minimization of accidental discharge of such substances. So, yung annex natin is oil. Annex 1 for oil. So, the Marpol Annex 1 came into force on October 2, 1983 and deals with the discharge of oil into the ocean environment. It incorporates the oil discharge criteria prescribed in the 1969 amendments to the 1954 Oil Pollution Convention. So it specifies tanker design features that are intended to minimize oil discharge into the ocean during ship operations in case of accidents. So it provides regulations with regard to treatment of engine room bilge water using OWS, or the oily water separator, and also for the commercial vessels and ballast and tank cleaning waste, ODME. So ODME is oil discharge monitoring equipment. So it also introduces the concept of a special sea areas which are considered to be at risk to pollution by oil. So discharge of oil within them has been completely outlawed with a few minimal exemptions. So pag nasa special areas ka, bawal ka magtapon na kahit ni isang tulo o isang drop ng oil. So the first half of Marpol Annex 1 deals with engine room waste. So there are various generations of technologies and equipment that have been developed to prevent waste, such as oily water separators, oil content monitors, and port reception facilities. So sa port reception facilities, dun mo ibibigay yung mga oily water residues mo. So the second part of the Marpol Annex 1 has more to do with cleaning the cargo areas and tanks. So oil discharge monitoring equipment, ODME, is a very important technology mentioned in Marpol Annex 1 that has greatly helped improve sanitation in these areas. So ODME is usually used on tanker vessels. And then the oil record book is another integral part of Marpol Annex 1. So the oil record book helps crew members log and keep track of oily wastewater discharges, among other things. So meron tayong oil record book 1 for the engine or the para sa makina, while we have oil record book 2, number 2 for sa tanker na mga may kargadang mga gasoline and diesel. So sa cargo. Okay, bakit nagkaroon tayo ng Marpol or especially the Annex 1? So it is because of the accidents or incidents na nangyari in the past. So para hindi mangyari ulit yung mga nangyari noon, so nagkaroon tayo ng convention, nagkaroon tayo ng Marpol. So these are the mga incidents and accidents na nangyari noon na medyo malaki yung damage na nagawa sa environment. So this is the Tory Canyon na barko. So kung makita nyo sa picture, parang nahati siya into two, nahati yung barko. And then yung kargada nila na langis, syempre kumalat sa dagat. So gano'ng kalaki or gano'ng karami yung kumalat? We have 120,000 tons of crude oil into the sea. So, yung 120,000 tons, para pag-convert natin to liters, mga 120 million liters of oil na yon. So, ganun kalaki. And then, crude oil pa siya, hindi yung diesel, hindi gasoline na medyo malinis. Crude oil pa, yung pinakamaduming langis, makikita mo maitim yung kulay. Okay, we have here on 1976, we have the Argo Merchant. So, ran aground. So, ran aground of Massachusetts, so sa Amerika. So, it's a small tanker carrying 27 tons of oil. So, yung ilalim niya is nabahura o nabangga sa ilalim ng dagat. And then, dahil doon, so yung mga tanker vessels na ngayon is ginawa na lang double hull. Na kahit mabutas yung ilalim niya, hindi agad lalabas yung oil kasi doble yung hull sa ilalim or doble yung protection. So, we have also the Amoco Cadiz ran aground of Brittany, giving France its worst oil spill ever. So the tanker filled with 223,000 tons of crude oil or 223 million liters of crude oil. So malaki din yung damage na nangyari. Okay, in March 1989, the Exxon Valdez loaded with 1,200,000 plus barrels of crude oil ran aground in the northeastern portion of Prince William Sound, spilling about one-fifth of its cargo. So it was the largest crude spill to date. So siya yung pinakamalaki na oil spill na nangyari in history. So the United States introduced its Oil Pollution Act of 1990, making it mandatory for all tankers calling at US ports to have double hull. So dito nagsimula yung mga double hull. So yung ilalim ng barko, doble yung protection. So, for short, tinawag siya na OPA 90. Okay, on December 12, 1999, so the 37,238 deadweight tanker Erika broke in two in heavy seas of the coast of Brittany, France, while carrying approximately 30,000 tons of heavy fuel oil. So although the crew were saved, some 14,000 tons of oil were spilled, and more than 100 miles of Atlantic coastline were polluted. So ganun kalayo yung naabot nung langis, 100 miles. Grabe. Meron pa, the Prestige tanker incident of 2002, so bago lang. Malaki na ako. Led to calls for further changes to Marpol 7378. So Prestige tanker. So, yun yung more on the Annex 1, which is oil. And then, meron din tayong other annexes. So, we have the Annex 2. Annex 2. Marpol Annex 2 came into force on April 6, 1987. So, it details the discharge criteria for the elimination of pollution by noxious liquid substances carried in large quantities. So, it divides substances into and introduces detailed operational standards and measures. So the discharge of pollutants is allowed only to reception facilities with certain concentrations and conditions. So no matter what, no discharge of residues containing pollutants is permitted within 12 nautical miles to the nearest land. So stricter restrictions apply to special areas. So yung mga noxious liquid substances or mga toxic substances. So Annex 3, we have the came into force on July 7, 1992. It contains general requirements for the standards on packing, marking, labeling, documentation, stowage, quantity limitations, exceptions, and notifications for preventing pollution by noxious substances. So the annex is in line with the procedures detailed in the IMDG Code, or the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code, which has been expanded to include marine pollutants. So, the amendments entered into force on 1st January 1991. So, mga package form naman. So, Annex 4. So, Annex 4 came into force on 22 September 2003. It introduces requirements to control pollution at sea by sewage from ships. So, yung sewage or yung mga dumi natin sa dumi ng tao, so, may mga control measures din siya bago siya itapon sa dagat. So, dadaan mo na siya ng sewage treatment plant. And then, may requirements bago mo siya pwede itapon. Okay, next, we have the Annex 5. Marpol Annex 5 came into force on 31 December 1988. So, it specifies the distance from land in which materials may be disposed of and subdivides different types of garbage and marine debris. So, Annex 5 is for garbage naman. So the requirements are much stricter in a number of special areas, but perhaps the most prominent part of the annex is the complete ban of dumping plastic into the ocean. So bawal magtapon ng plastic sa dagat. Pero parang mas in-improve pa nila to na bawal na talaga magtapon ng kahit ano sa dagat. Except lang sa food na pwede mong i-grind or paliitin mo ng napakaliit para pwede mo siya itapon sa dagat at may distance din from land na pwede siyang itapon. Hindi pwede yung pag nakadikit kayo, tapon agad. Okay, so yan. Dapat dumaan, dapat hindi yan tinatapon. So, sinama na nila yung mga papel sa pagkain. May plastic pa nga. So, bawal yan. Next, we have the Annex 6, which is air pollution. So, the Marpol Annex 6 came into force on 19 May 2005. It introduces requirements to regulate the air pollution being emitted by ships, including the emission of ozone, depleting substances, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, volatile organic compounds, and shipboard incineration. So, it also establishes requirements for reception facilities for waste from exhaust gas cleaning systems, incinerators, fuel oil quality for offshore platforms, and drilling rigs, and for the establishment of SOx emission control areas. So, meron na rin tayong tinawag na SECA areas. Now, so, pag pumunta ka sa mga SECA areas, kailangan mag-change over ka to low sulfur fuel. And then, sa Annex 6, dito rin nabuo yung scrubber. So, bago lumabas yung usok galing sa makina, dadaan mo na siya ng scrubber para paglabas niya ng funnel or chimney ng barko is mababa na yung SOx and NOx niya, or sulfur oxides and nitrogen oxides niya. So, yan, pag ganyan ng kulay, bawal na yan. Hindi na pwede yan. Pwede ka na ma-detain sa kung saan ka, saan yung barko mo. Pwede nang ma-detain. So, yan. That strange smell, George, is fresh air. So, hindi fresh air yan. Okay, so those are Annex 1. Annex 1 is for oil. Annex 2, noxious liquid substances. Annex 3 is harmful substances carried in package form. Annex 4 is sewage. Annex 5 is garbage. And Annex 6 is air pollution. And then, now, meron na tayong Annex 7. So, Annex 7 is ballast water. So, International Convention for the Control and Management of Ships, Ballast Water, and Sediments. So, IMO defines ballast water treatment equipment as the equipment which mechanically, physically, chemically, or biologically processes, either singularly or in combination, to remove, render harmless, or avoid the uptake or discharge of harmful organisms or pathogens. So, ballast water treatment equipment may operate at the uptake or discharge of ballast water during the voyage or at a combination of these events. So, pag kumuha ka ng dagat mula sa... So, ano ba yung ballast? So, yung ballast, siya yung ginagamit para mag-stabilize yung barko, para maging balance yung barko. And then, for example, pag kumuha ka ng seawater galing sa Australia, tapos dinala mo yung seawater na yon papunta sa Amerika, and then, yung seawater na yon is may dalang mga different organisms or pathogens na hindi pwede sa American or sa seawater doon sa Amerika. Like, hindi compatible pala yung dinala mong mga organism na dinala mo sa ibang lugar. So, magkakause siya ng damage doon sa environment, so, doon sa dagat nung pinaglagyan mo ng seawater mo or ballast water. So, to prevent that, so, gumawa sila nitong ballast water treatment. So, the purpose of the convention is to develop a safer and more effective management of ballast water that would eliminate the risk of harmful aquatic organisms and pathogens spreading from one part of the world to another, causing harm to the environment, human health, and property. So the convention aims to achieve this objective by instituting a series of regulations to manage the transfer and discharge of ship's ballast water. Okay, so there are many treatment technologies na ginagamit. Meron tayong mechanical system, so dadaan siya ng filtration and cyclonic separation and electromechanical separation bago mo itapon yung ballast water mo. Or, meron din tayong physical disinfection, dadaan mo na siya ng ultraviolet light or ultrasound, so syempre mamamatay yung mga organisms na pwedeng mag-create ng damage doon sa ibang lugar. Then, dadaan siya ng cavitation and deoxygenation para sure na walang mabubuhay sa kanila na lilipat ng ibang environment or pupunta dun sa ibang lugar. And then we have also the chemical treatment, disinfecting biocide, gagamit ka ng chemical, and chlorine or electrolytic chlorination para mamatay yung mga organisms na yon. Or you can combine all this or pili ka lang dyan or combine these treatments para mas gumanda yung treatment technology mo. Okay, so sediment management for ships. So the ship's ballast water management plan must also contain provisions for the removal and disposal of sediments from the ballast tanks. So the parties to the convention also undertake to ensure that adequate facilities are provided for the reception and the safe disposal of sediments without impairing or damaging the environment, human health, property, or resources in that party, state, or of other states. So, pati sediments, yung mga nakuha mong mga tawag doon, sand, or kahit anong mong nadadala na sediment, maring mag-cause din siya ng damage doon sa ibang lugar. So, kailangan, dadaan pa rin siya ng stringent removal and disposal. Okay, duties of the ship owners. So, yung ship owner, kailangan meron sila sa barko nila, meron silang ballast water management plan. Dapat merong ballast water record book and International Ballast Water Management Certificate. So, dapat certified sila na okay yung gamit nila na okay yung ballast water treatment nila and management of ballast water. Okay, so these are sa picture na makita natin meron tayong mga pest species na yung ibang mga organisms di pwedeng ilipat sa ibang organism na hindi swak sa kanila or they may cause damage to that environment. So magiging sila kung sa farming pa magiging peste sila. Magiging peste sila sa lugar na lilipatan nila. Okay, like this one. So, pag nilipat mo sila sa ibang lugar, hindi na sila compatible and then mag-create pa sila ng damage dun sa environment na yon. So, meron tayong exceptions to the rule. Exemption sa pwede kang magtapon siguro ng ballast pag ito yung mga nangyari. Like, for example, during emergency situations, or saving life at sea. So, kung yung ginawa mo is to save life or during emergency, ginawa mo lang yun dahil emergency, so, hindi mo nalabag yung ballast water na annex. Accidental discharge resulting from damage to ship or equipment. So, pag nasira lang, biglang nasira or na-damage yung barko, so, pwede yon as long as na-prove mo na hindi mo yun sinadya. Okay? For the purpose of avoidance or minimization of pollution incidents from the ship. So, para hindi mas lumaki yung pollution sa loob ng barko. Uptake and discharge of ballast water on the high seas. So, baka bagyo siguro to or ano ba to? Kaya pwede, emergency. So, discharge of ballast water at place where the ballast water originated. So, kung kinuha mo siya sa Amerika, pwede mo siya itapon balik sa Amerika or California, for example. So, if another party of the convention grants a specific exemption for their jurisdiction. So, pag naging exempted ka, for example, binigyan ka na exemption dun sa Australia, so pwede. As long as exempted ka. Okay, what ship owners need to do? So, first, ship owners should conduct a study of all ballast water treatment systems available and then pipili sila kung ano yung pinaka nagustuhan sila, kung kuha sila sa Alfa Laval, or kung saan sila na asan yung nagustuhan nilang ballast water treatment system na i-install nila sa barko. And then number 2, come up with a ballast water management plan. They need to get the system approved by the ship's classification society. So, dapat may management plan ka and then dapat approve yan ng classification society mo. And then number 3, ensure crew and staff receive appropriate training. So, kailangan din yung gumagamit ng equipment na yun, nung ballast water treatment na yun is kailangan trained sila. Dapat alam nila yung ginagawa nila and kaya nilang i-maintain yung equipment to the optimum level. Like this one. So this is an example of a water ballast treatment system. Thank you. So that's the end of our presentation. So that's all. So that's for the Marpol annexes, Annex 1 to 7. So see you on the next video. Bye.